Joining us on the first debate tonight, Salman Soz, leader of the Congress, joining us from Delhi. Sanjay Kaul, spokesperson BJP, also from Delhi. Bharat Kumar Raut, political analyst and the MP in the Rajya Sabha. He's here in the Mumbai studios with us. Also Dr. Ajay Alok, General Secretary of the JDU. He's joining us from Patna. And political editor of the Caravan, Hartosh Singh Bal, also from Delhi, as is senior journalist Ashok Malik. Thank you all very much for joining us. Now, the first question to the Congress, Salman Soz, are you in pre-poll disarray? Just today, we've seen another heavyweight, Satpal Maharaj, one of your tallest leaders in Uttarakhand, crossing over to the BJP. This follows the likes of Jagdambika Pal a few days ago. Are you in pre-poll disarray right now with tall leaders deserting you?
Well, when you talk about tall leaders and disarray, when you put these things together, these two phrases, I think you should look at the BJP and see what's going on in their party. Or you've seen the
but tell us about yours first.
Their party in the last
Tell us about yours first.
I'll tell you about my party too. Look, it is no one's case that when your own people sometimes desert you that you feel sad. Of course, it saddens us. But at the same time, we recognize that this is that season where migratory birds flock from one place to another. Some people go, some people come. I think this happens in all elections. Yes, I can see that people are watching a little too much TV and looking at opinion polls a little too much, believing in them perhaps, and they feel that maybe the opportunity for them is in another party.
The problem, Mr. Soz, with your argument is that who do the people in these constituencies believe when the leaders they looked up to are deserting them and going across to the other party, the party against which they've been working and they wanted to vote against? The leader itself is going over there, so you're leaving the voter confused. So who's responsible for that? You can't blame the television channels and opinion polls for that, can you?
No. I'm not actually. I wasn't blaming the television channels or the opinion polls. I'm actually blaming those who actually watch them and don't really put things in perspective.
No, what do you do for the likes of voters who are looking up to a particular candidate, saying that this will be the candidate who I will vote for from the Congress, and suddenly overnight low? The case of Satpal Maharaj, he just walks out and says, bye-bye, I'm going to join the BJP. So is that fair? And is that an indication of the things to come? No. Why are they jumping ship? Senior leaders jumping ship?
No, look. You can ask them why they're jumping ship, but let me tell you this. They have been unfair to the people who worked hard for them, and they will be actually shown the door by those very people. I'll tell you, I think maybe people have gotten a little too much too faced by this whole, there's a Modi wave out here in this country. Like somebody on
if your own party leaders are getting swayed, isn't that a cause for worry? If you have not been able to keep your flock together, isn't that a cause for worry? Doesn't that indicate something? What is the message that you are sending to the people at large? If you are not able to keep your own leaders, how will you instill confidence in the voters?
Look. I think what's happened to you is that you are seeing a lot of Arnab, and have started doing this.
Don't make the comparisons, Mr. Soz. You can leave that aside. I'm asking you the question. The question is relevant. The show is Newshour. You are here on a debate. Please answer the question.
You have to let me respond, because I'll answer the question when you let me respond.
Go ahead, sir.
There is a lot of stuff that is going on right now. People who believe in the Congress's philosophy, or for example the BJP's philosophy and ideology, they will stick to their parties. Those who do not, those who see political opportunism, those who see transfer of perhaps money or some other inducement, they will not. Now let me finish. The BJP has been talking about Congress Mukt Bharat. They should first talk about Congress Mukt BJP. They're not even able to get to
Mr. Soz, Mr. Soz, I have to interrupt you here because you've made an insinuation. You've talked about people giving out money and buying people over. Is that an allegation that you're making?
Yes.
Because you said that. BJP, please respond to that. Sanjay Kaul.
Absolutely.
Sanjay Kaul, please respond to that.
In Gujarat, everybody knows that they're buying people off.
Sanjay Kaul, please. Sanjay Kaul, we'd like your response to that.
I'm saying this on national television.
Me. Will this person... Can I answer?
Yes, please.
And I think it will be beneath me to respond to that last statement the gentleman just made. I think I found it very strange that the Congress finds everybody at fault including the people who watch television or read the newspapers. It finds the media at fault. But it does not find anything wrong with its leadership, anything wrong with its policies, anything wrong with its values of governance, anything wrong with its with its much avowed misuse of secularism over the last so many years. I think it begs the question: are they really able to look at things in the correct perspective at all?
Is the BJP, Mr. Kaul?
The point is that you have to learn.
Mr. Kaul, I'm going to put that question back to you. Is the BJP looking at things in perspective? Because if it is ideology that you're claiming, it is the Modi wave that you're claiming, why are you so openly embracing all these congressmen who want to come over to your side? Why are you doing that? Because your campaign was against the Congress and the Congress leaders, isn't it? So then aren't you taking the same from the same party? Aren't you taking leaders on board you? So how are you then any different? Where is perspective here now?
Yeah, I get your idea. I got it the first time you put it to me. My answer to that is simply this, that the BJP is not against people, okay? These are people of this country. As long as we can attract people to our ideology, to the way we think, and get them to agree with us, we succeed and we win. That is what we are in politics for. We are not here to, unlike the Congress and some other parties.
So what happened with Karuna Shukla?
We are here. Will you just let me finish, please? I don't understand.
Go ahead.
Sorry?
Go ahead. I'm asking you what happened with Karuna Shukla.
Well, the point is that if you want me to answer, I can advance the argument. But if you, keep look, I hope I'm making a point here. My point is that every time we are able to convince somebody to join us, we win. Every time we are able to influence somebody else and convince or turn them to our way of thinking as far as the country is concerned, the importance we attach to foreign policy, to national pride, I think we win. So I don't think we have to be apologetic about people joining us. As far as people leaving us is concerned, well, let's put things in perspective. A lot less people are leaving us and a lot more are joining us. So let's stay with the theme of what you started. Fact of the matter is there is political opportunism. That's a fact. But as far as Congress people are concerned, where is the ideology? It is only opportunism. Or the misuse of ideas like secularism, or of extremely pitting, or exploiting communal frenzy.
Mr. Soz, we'll come back to you, Mr. Soz. I know you want to respond to that, but Mr. Roth is here in the studios with us. Is it clearly open season for opportunism over ideology? For example, Rahul Narvekar also leaving for the NCP after being one of the most, harsh critics of the UPA.
You said the right thing. I think in India, unfortunately, and it is a growing trend, that election, the time of election, that becomes a mandi time. Bazaar ka time hota hai. And therefore, during this time, there is lot of horse trading happens during this period. Though I am not talking in behalf of Shiva Sena, but Shiva Sena has suffered because of that. A year ago, Shiva Sena's MP, sitting MP, young MP, who Shiva Sena made him member of parliament at a very young age, he was taken by NCP. Now another spokesperson of Shiva Sena, Rahul Narvekar.
Yes, and one of your most visible leaders,
on this channel itself.
Yes.
And he shifted from Shiva Sena to NCP the very next day. Within 24 hours, he becomes the candidate of Sharad Pawar's NCP.
Yes.
I mean, what is this? Where is the question of principle? Where is the question of ideology? I think this is all humbug.
Where is the ideology? Hartosh Singh Bal, the list I have here of all the defections that have happened over just the last few days, it extends into 2 pages. I'm not even going to go into them. We all know what they are. And there are some really big heavyweights in there. Isn't it open season then, as Mr. Raut said? Is it just, horse trading, a mandi out there?
Well, it's absolutely that. This question that Sanjay raises of ideology, etc., that's pure bunkum. There is a common saying of a particular species deserting a sinking ship. That is what is happening at this time. I can't think of a better label to ascribe to these people who are switching sides right now. And the interesting thing is, obviously, the Congress is in decline. It is in bad shape. It may be in permanent decline. On the other hand, it seems the attractions of power in this country are such that whoever is close to power takes on similar shapes. At one time, to join the Congress, all you needed to sing was the mantra of the dynasty, and today all you need to join the BJP is to chant Namo Namo. There is no commitment to ideology. It's a personality cult, and if you go and stand suddenly and say you believe in that cult, suddenly your ideology has changed, you're acceptable.
But Ashok Malik, Isn't this unfair to the voters? Should the voters vote for any single candidate who's defected at this nth hour after campaigning for 5 years or voicing opinion against a particular party for 5 years? You go and embrace them at just around the corner of the elections. Should the voters vote for such people? Isn't it unfair to the voters?
I think those who switch parties on the eve of elections are being unfair to their parties and to the workers of their parties. They are not necessarily being unfair to voters. To be fair, they are moving before elections. Voters have a right to vote for them or reject them. They're not moving after an election, so it's a free and fair contest. Someone like Winston Churchill, a far greater politician and world statesman than anyone in India today, switched parties several times. He was in the Conservative Party, then he joined the Liberals, then he became an independent and stood as an independent, and then he rejoined the Conservatives. So people have a right to change parties before elections or in the interim between two elections. I think 2 points need to be made here. One, ideology or core principles are important for all parties, but all big parties are also broad church parties and attract all sorts of people. Sometimes they take in people who contribute votes in a particular region or a particular constituency and are local strongmen. In the case
so are you trying to say it's okay for opportunism to score over ideology?
On the defensive.
Are you trying to say it's okay to be an opportunist and it's okay if there is horse trading, it's okay if it's open transfer, and if it is over ideology, which parties are batting for years on end?
Could I finish talking? Please understand. Please be realistic. This is not a college debate. The biggest morality in politics is winning an election. This is as true for the Congress as it is for the BJP, as true for the DMK as it is for the AIDMK.
Okay.
People try and win elections.
All right. No,
so
on that point, people have walked away from alliances on the issue of ideology. Let's go to Dr. Ajay Alok. Several high-profile defections in your party recently as well. I'm just going to talk about Praveen Amanullah, who's the first woman minister in the Bihar cabinet. She's just gone across to the Aam Aadmi Party. The issue is that, and she's not just the only one, again there's a long list here, your party leaders don't seem to have any clear binding with the ideology that has been so ferociously proposed by the JDU as far as the split with the NDA has been concerned.
As far as JDU goes, it's a very clear thinking in JDU that we were the last one to compromise on our ideologies. Because if you look at our position, we were sitting quite comfortably in a house of 243 with 207 of our own. And if hadn't it been a case of ideology, the split wouldn't have taken place and we would have been
That's what I'm saying. You split on the issue of ideology, but now your leaders are leaving.
We took the risk. No, none of our leaders are leaving. We took the risk because of the ideology. Now, if talking of a case of Praveen Amanullah or Mr. N.K. Singh, I'll just say they are just grapes turning sour, nothing else. It doesn't make a difference to the power party.
No, there's many more names. There's Chedi Paswan, your MLA. There's also your MP Sushil Kumar Singh. I mean, you can't say
was suspended from the party.
You can't say people are not leaving. There are names.
Chedi Paswan was suspended from the party long back.
No, but Ajay Alok, what ideology are you talking about? Isn't the issue more personal? Isn't the issue of you walking out more personal than ideological? No. Because if it was ideology, you wouldn't have been part of the NDA. You wouldn't have aligned with the BJP. It's not ideology. It's personal. It's personality, and it's a personal issue between Nitish Kumar and Narendra Modi.
We aligned with BJP
So don't claim a false platform. Don't claim a false platform. Don't claim the ideology platform because it does not. It is not right. It is not right, Dr. Alok.
It is right.
No, the fact of the matter is, if it is ideology, then why isn't the JDU still with the BJP? It should be the ideology, not the leadership.
Out of alliance because of an ideology.
Yes.
It's not a matter of leadership. We very clearly propose that if this kind of a leadership is going to be there, it is going to lead the India alliance.
Again, it's leaders. It's leaders.
JDU contested the last election along with BJP. BJP remained the same, and still you split with BJP. After that, your leaders like N.K. Singh are leaving you, deserting you, and you say there is nothing wrong in the party. I think there is a gross dissentment against the Nitish Kumar decision to leave NDA, and perhaps because of that, all these leaders are going away.
I guess
you should
BJP should look
introvert
first
and think
into
about
their
it.
problem. What BJP is undergoing, within themselves is a part of a fusion reaction, the part of the unholy alliances that you are stitching all over the country. And that's why is the fusion reaction happening. And
But
there's
they're
a whole
being
lot
able
of
to draw
confusion
allies.
in the
Same
BJP.
alliance.
But the
You're
fact
in the
is-
same alliance
Your
as
senior
well.
leaders.
And the fact is that the allies are coming. They are being able to make all these alliances. Salman Soz, you've been wanting to come in.
Exactly.
Yes, you know,
Fact is, one man is taking the decision and the allies are coming and the senior leaders are sulking.
Wait.
They are not, and first time there is a coining of a slogan, safe seat.
Let me just
Even the prime ministerial ambition candidate wants a
come to
safe
the
seat.
point.
So what's wrong with that?
And
We'll
they
go to
talk of a
that.
wave in the
That's
country.
out of this discussion today, Dr. Alok. So let's not bring that
Yeah.
back in. Yes, Mr. Soz.
Yes, look, I wanted to connect what Sanjay ji was saying about ideology with Mr. Malik's observation. I think astute observation about, you know, this is politics. This is not a kind of college debate. This is about, you know, running the government. You know, if you look at, if you look at what kind of people, you know, when you look at ideologically, what's happening in the BJP, the senior leadership, those who are really the ideology of BJP. What happened to Mr. Jaswant Singh today, for example? How is it that his ideology is not the BJP ideology, whereas a former congressman who just joined and now wants to contest and is contesting, his ideology is he's more grounded in the RSS.
You just
BJP
answered your
ideology
question
than
before
Mr.
you
Jaswant
asked it,
Singh.
Mr. Soz.
That's one.
When you said you agree with
Ashok
Malik, you answered this question. When you said you agree with Ashok Malik, you answered this question.
Please let me finish. Let me finish my point. Let your viewers at least hear my perspective.
Go ahead.
That's one point. Then if you look at what Ms. Sushma Swaraj ji said, publicly, she said that she disagrees with the kind of people that are coming into the party, specifically referring to people who have serious allegations of corruption in Karnataka. Mr. Sri Ramalu, Mr. Yediyurappa came in. You know, I thought the BJP was going for corruption Mukt Bharat, but I had no idea that they were taking on the burden of the country by putting all of the
Does
corrupt
B.S.
people to
Yediyurappa have a
BJP.
Lok Sabha ticket?
That's what's happened to this party.
But Pawan Kumar Bansal does.
Mr. Yediyurappa is now
No, Yediyurappa
Pawan Kumar Bansal does.
Mr. Pawan Kumar Bansal is not an accused. Mr. Pawan Kumar Bansal is not an accused.
That is
I'm
also
sorry.
debatable.
In fact,
That can open up another debate, Mr. Soz. The facts of that case can open up another debate.
It is not
The
debatable.
facts of that case can open up another
It is
debate.
not
Hartosh Bal, you had a point to make.
There.
Look,
Yediyurappa is contesting from
in all this, I think this whole question of
BJP ticket.
Yeah, Yediyurappa is
if I may,
Doodh ka dhula, right?
All right, can we have Hartosh Bal, please?
okay. Yeah, absolutely. See, there's a simple point here. I find it quite interesting that suddenly people with sympathies to the BJP are espousing real politics, given the events of the last 4 or 5 years and the kind of problems the Congress has faced on grounds of corruption. I mean, today you can stand up and say, you know, corruption is not really an issue. You need money to win an election. That money has to come from somewhere.